Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and School.
Congratulations.
I was trying.
I
was trying to make it so you couldn't.
Yeah.
You did your best, guys.
I tried my best, yeah.
You tried so hard and got so far.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, didn't really matter.
Not in the end.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah. So
100-point show.
Yes, 100-point show. And
we will have a guest, but he's late.
We will have a guest. He is late. I told him to join the Google Hangouts. He has not joined the Google Hangout yet. So hopefully he understands how all that works. So
I think he does.
100-point show question. Who holds the record for the most home runs in a single Major League Baseball season? I feel like I know this. I don't, but I feel like I do.
Is it Jared?
Babe Ruth.
I'm also guessing it's probably Babe Ruth. Let's see.
You don't get points.
No, it's Barry Bonds, apparently.
Wow. Oh, shoot. You're right.
Good morning, Kaiser.
Hey.
Kaiser, this is Caesar.
Fuck you.
All right.
It's Kaiser.
Whatever. Fuck off. What's your 100-point show question?
My 100-point show question should have been how to pronounce that person's name. But no, I guess my 100-point show question is, who holds the world record for being struck by lightning the most amount of times?
You know, I don't know the guy's name, but I remember learning about him.
Yeah. So
Didn't his grave also get hit by lightning?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's been hit multiple times.
See, that guy was cursed.
What are you looking at?
He's the best.
No, something seemed off. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's a new light because we had to get a new light.
Lauren's like, whoa, man.
Yeah, no, you looked like you were.
Dude, I was. It feels like a light is missing.
It is.
Yeah, there are two lights out right there.
No, not those.
That's always been that way.
That light is completely gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way. Sorry.
We should be fine.
All right, I forgot his name. I don't know the answer. Let's call him Billy Johnson.
I'm sure it wasn't Billy Johnson.
I'm also sure it's not Billy Johnson. Do you know his name?
I don't know his name.
You killed the
it's
show.
not
It
Billy
died.
Johnson.
I took the screen off of it.
Okay.
Anyways, we're reading the first book of Samuel.
Yes. This is a continuation of the Deuteronomistic history. And last week we just, flew right through the book of Ruth, only 4 chapters. And before that we went through Judges and Joshua, and those were the first 2 books of the Deuteronomistic history. And now this is a continuation of that. So just pretend Ruth wasn't even in there because it was inserted there later.
Yeah.
Although before we jump into it, I do have one announcement.
What's that, Lawrence?
Yes. So on the 20th, I believe that's this week, on Saturday, right? I think it's on Saturday. Yeah, it's on Saturday. I will be on the Drunken Peasants.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look who it is. Look who finally decided to join us.
Dude, man, I got drunken buddies making me move stuff. You know I have a pickup, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I get that.
We're on the air, so why don't we introduce our guest to the audience?
Yes. So this is our buddy Rob, who has a very low camera.
There we go.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah, I suck at this. Give me a break.
Yeah. So this is our buddy Rob. We have worked with Rob for 5 years now? 6 maybe?
Yeah, since the beginning of the 14 probably.
Yeah. Probably around closer to 5 years, yeah. So Rob, since you just got here, now we have to explain the show to him, because I would have loved to explain the show before the show.
Sorry, man.
Fucking asshole. Okay.
Hey, Rob.
All right.
On this show, we take turns reading the Bible and talking about it while reading it.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
So do you have a Bible on you? All right.
This is very appropriately the Teen Study Bible.
Ooh.
The Teen Study Bible.
Teen Study. It has awesome little compendium on the side. with lessons for teens on how to interpret certain passages.
Okay, so but is it is it actually a complete Bible, or is it? Like,
Yes, it's a complete Bible. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Sweet.
we're on 1 Samuel 1.
Yes.
Right
First
now.
Samuel. Oh, I opened right to it. Imagine that.
Wow.
All right.
It's a
I did.
miracle.
It's really true. First page I opened to. 1 Samuel 1.
Okay.
God wants us to do the show, you guys.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay, so
Okay. You got a verse?
Since we are okay, you're gonna be reading chapter 1. I'll
Yeah.
be reading chapter 2, and Rob, that means you will have to read chapter 3 when we get to it.
I'm all over it.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
So,
So I have the King James version of the Bible.
And I have the English Standard Version, and as we just discussed, Rob has the Teen Study Bible, I guess.
Well, it's a new international version.
Oh, it's
That's
an
not-
NIV. Okay.
Yeah, it's NIV is the version. It happens to be a teen study version of the new international version.
And if we need them, we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible and the NIV, New Interpreter's Bible, Old Testament Survey.
Yes.
And 2 other
And
copies
we
of
also
the
have,
Bible.
Yep, just in case we get caught up in translations, we got some more Bibles right here because that's just who we are, and that is just how we do it.
The Holy Scriptures
I
according
suppose so.
to
Oh,
the...
shut up, Chris.
Thoroughness. We like thoroughness.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I finished I'm going on Drunken Peasants announcement. I'm very excited about that. So, since this is the beginning of a book, my version has this little introduction.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be reading this introduction.
Crazy.
Mine does too.
Well, yours sucks. We're not going to use yours.
No, it's cute and it's short. You have to let me.
Okay, fine. Let's do your cute short one first. I'm going to go
No,
grab my fucking
You can be
drink.
first, man. I'm not trying to
No,
be
you
first.
fucking do it first. You fucking late piece of shit.
All right, you pussy little fucker. All right, here we go. Ready?
Lawrence, grab me a
That's-
drink, too.
Introduction to the... Am I ready to start?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rob.
All right. Introduction to the book of 1 Samuel. Change. Change can be hard, especially big changes such as moving or changing schools, living through your parents' divorce, or trying to adjust to a stepmother or stepfather. Israel and David were experiencing some big changes. When Samuel, Israel's last judge, grew old, the people demanded a king. Saul, the first king, was disobedient. So God chose a young man named David to replace him. But many difficult years passed before David became king, because Saul was jealous of David and became hostile. The book of 1 Samuel tells the story of these difficult years.
Wow, that was
Change is
hard.
It's a
hard.
Yeah.
It's for teenagers, you guys.
Oh, no. Is yours like that, Lawrence? Your introduction?
No, mine.
No.
Mine is better, I think, actually.
It's a little less...
Yeah, it's a little less Big Mouth. Have you seen that show, Big Mouth?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it. Yeah. All right. So, 1 Samuel records the establishment of Israel's monarchy about 1050 BC. Samuel led Israel for many years in the combined roles of prophet, priest, and judge. This guy's a fucking overachiever. That's what we have here.
Prophet, priest, and judge?
Yep, prophet, priest, and judge.
Doesn't he judge, jury, and executioner by those standards?
He couldn't have just fit king in there himself. I mean,
No.
Yeah, where's emperor in the title? Come on.
A dictator. After the people demanded a king like those of the other nations,
Well, guess he gets to be king
too.
Guess he does.
Hold on. There's a comma there. I'm not done with the fucking sentence. After the people demanded a king like those of the other nations, God directed Samuel to anoint Saul as Israel's first king. When Saul turned from God, David was anointed by Samuel to succeed him. After David killed the giant Goliath, he was brought to Saul's court, eventually becoming the leader of Saul's armies. Saul's subsequent violent jealousy forced David to flee. The book closes with Saul's death in battle and looks forward to David's reign. 1 Samuel's author is unknown, but Samuel himself may have written portions of the book. No, he fucking didn't. Okay, let's just get that fucking piece of scholarship out of the way. No, he fucking didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because we have this this new judge, the interesting thing is the last 4 chapters of Judges was a later placement because it wasn't supposed to end with that judge. The story together continues with this judge, so it keeps going. That entire portion about Benjamin, the fucking battle at Gibeah or whatever. Like, all that shit was later placed, probably by, I'm guessing, by someone who fucking hated the tribe of Benjamin. Because he fucking made them look like the worst fucking people.
So wait,
Yeah.
have they been shit on yet?
Benjamin?
Yeah.
That was at the
Yeah,
end
they
of
got
Judges.
slaughtered.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, what tribes haven't been shit on?
I mean, almost every tribe has been shit on. in
What
some
about the
sense.
tribe of Manasseh?
Yes, the fact that they're called the half-tribe.
That was a joke, Lawrence.
Okay, fine, whatever. Make better jokes.
I want to point out that the chapter actually starts with this admission that God made another shit choice, man. He
Yes.
chose Saul, and Saul was obviously not going to be the guy. So what's with God? God just doesn't. He's not really very all-knowing. Is my take on this.
No,
Nah,
he's not.
He doesn't know shit.
As we learned from Genesis, he's not all-knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder who killed Abel, and I wonder where Adam is.
Yeah,
The first
I
game of
lost
hide and
track.
seek.
I wonder who.
And Adam fucking sucks at hide and seek because he's like, here I am.
It's like the first game of Clue. Cain in the field with a stone.
I wonder who proposed the idea that God's all-knowing, because it's obviously not the case.
Right.
Maybe
Is
he's
it like a
limited
rollover from
knowledge.
some other tradition?
I'm not 100% sure on that. Although, Jeb? Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Jeb is this fucking crazy guy that likes to go preach at UWM.
yeah, that joke.
Dude's fucking
Well,
nuts.
he
He's a
goes
character.
all around.
Right.
He goes on a tour. He's
Father
got a
Jeff.
staff.
Yeah.
With,
Right.
Did he bring the cross staff, or was it a different
Yes.
staff?
Well, he did bring like a huge staff. I forget what was on it. It looked kind of like Middle Eastern or like Egyptian, like somewhere in that region. It had like it was a cross, but the stylization of it was really weird. at
Weird
least to me.
crucifix, huh?
So he was one hell of a character, by the way. It's just so amusing to watch, even though the shit he says is horrible. He was like, no, God is not all-knowing, and he doesn't know the future. Even though there are plenty of times in which he's like predicting the future in the books that we've read.
Well, Jeb also, he believes in slavery.
Yeah, that was fucked up. I was
Yeah.
like, well, okay then.
Jeez.
You are consistent with the book. That's good.
And there's footage out there somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. It might be on Durst's channel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Of Jeb's wife doing her presentation a few years back.
Oh, I have that on my cell phone, my old cell phone.
Yeah, your old cell phone. And she had like this huge thing of tampons
Oh,
What?
God.
that had fake blood on them.
Yep.
And she was berating all of the people and saying that they worshipped the cult of the tampons.
That,
It was nuts.
Yeah, she was completely crazy. I
that
called
is
her out
ridiculous.
on
Hold
it. All right,
on.
have we ever gotten to the chapter even? No.
No, but I think that this main camera is too zoomed out. I think it should be zoomed in a little.
What's the difference?
Well, one
that
is
we
zoomed
looked
in
at
a little and one is not.
Yeah.
Who you got back there, Lawrence? Who's the disembodied voice?
Oh, the disembodied void is it's Chris.
out.
I just called him the disembodied void.
Yeah, I
What's
like
up,
the-
man? What's
Hey,
up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
I gotta fix the camera apparently. I'm the
That's
tech guy.
Yeah.
They just
That's
got
a-
annoyed that nobody could hear me, and I kept saying stuff, so I wear my mic now.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a
So,
Anyway.
pretty man pony you got there.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. Okay. So.
Anyways, I'll begin reading first chapter of 1 Samuel.
Yes.
Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, And his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other...
Seems like a barking dog.
Yes.
Oh, there's the barking dog.
There's the barking
Good
dog.
Does not like that we are reading the Bible.
No, he hates
Does
the
not
Bible.
enjoy the Bible.
Hashtag blame the Bible.
He hates it's your pronunciation. He speaks Hebrew and he's kind of pissed.
No. The name of the other, Peninnah, and Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife, and to all of her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb.
Okay, so she was barren.
Yes.
No, it just couldn't talk anymore. Shut up! Shut up, womb.
So this dog.
I'm going to get rid of it. Here, I'm going to put it outside. Hang on. Come on.
All right. While he deals with his dog, well, I guess let's continue with this barren woman.
Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
There is always more.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess not at the end of Revelation.
Yeah.
But after Revelations, we have to go into the Book of Mormon, or the Quran.
I think it would make more sense to just go right into the Book of Mormon.
Aren't they
Well, I think it
supposed
would
to
make
be?
more sense to do the Quran if we're doing them in sequential order.
I got a Book of Mormon.
Well, also because the Book of Mormon is meant to be like another testament to the Bible.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
So we'll figure it out.
And, well, maybe we can hold a community vote when it comes time.
Yeah, we could hold a vote.
Yeah, in
Yes.
like 2 years.
The Twitter could be useful for something.
If it's around.
You know, I post some stuff on Twitter, and fucking nobody sees it.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
So the Lord shut up her womb.
Yeah.
And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man-child, then...
A man-child, I love that.
Yeah. Everyone needs one of those in their life.
Oh, yeah. Then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall be no razor come upon his head. So, like Samson earlier, again, we get the no cutting hair.
Right. And the thing is, I know that trimming your beard was seen as like, it's seen as a sin, or at least a breaking of the commandment, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. There's a fucking 613 of them.
Yep.
So.
She's just promising that she'll raise him a good Jew. That's all she's just.
And
saying
it's not.
Be good.
It's not
She'll
just that.
put him into Sunday school.
Think about it this way. So God closed her womb, and now this guy is saying, God, don't do that. And as we will see, God's like, you fucking convinced me.
Oh, good go.
Yeah.
Great. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth.
Marked her mouth.
What is
Mine says observed her mouth. I don't know what
Yeah,
that means.
yeah, observed. He read her lips.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, Hannah, she spake in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, No, my lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief I have spoken hitherto.
Hold on. That was weird.
Mine's easier. She responds to him, It's not so. I'm a woman who's deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. That was a real translation difference from yours.
Yeah,
Versus
I have a similar one, worthless woman. Those are apparently synonymous.
Yeah, I have been praying here out of my anguish and grief. That's all.
Right.
Well, I think
said-
we can then
What-
deduce that a daughter of Belial is a worthless woman.
Right.
Okay, but who was Belial? I remember.
One of the demons, probably. Just a demon, right?
Yeah.
I could probably look it up. So while you keep reading, let's see if this thing might be useful.
Well, Lawrence.
A god that a wicked woman would worship.
All right.
Yeah, so that's right, everybody. Lawrence is rolling the D1000 and hoping for a 999.
Oh, I
That
flipped right
book's-
to it. Okay.
Oh, man, is it useful for once?
Let's see. Belial, a word that occurs 24 times in the Hebrew Bible, frequently in the pseudepigrapha and other Jewish literature of the Greco-Roman period, and once in the New Testament. In the Hebrew Bible, it is used to characterize the wicked or worthless, such as idolaters. It gives some names. In later literature, it is a title of Satan.
Oh.
The etymology of the term is unclear. The most widely held view is that it is a compound meaning without worth. Another possibility is to understand it as a term for the underworld, literally, the place of no return. And apparently, one of the Psalms 18:4-5 apparently helps make that case. More recent translations generally paraphrase the word, while older translations more often transliterated it. Yeah, so in the KJV, says Belial, occurs 15 times, whereas in the NRSV, it is found only in 2 Corinthians 6:15. All right, cool. Now this little section, what's really interesting, is written by Michael Coogan. So he's one of the editors of the Oxford Companion. But I'm also, I recently got, I think his most recent book on the Ten Commandments. It's kind of like, it's basically a brief history of the Ten Commandments, and it is really brief.
Weird.
Yeah, like it's,
Usually when they say that,
right,
it's
like
a misnomer.
So I'm currently getting through that book, and it's pretty good so far as I've gotten in. So maybe I'll do a video on the Decalogue. Oh, are those children now?
Oh, man.
Is the dog attacking the children?
Turn on my mic for a second.
All right.
Continue.
So then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy petition, and thou hast
Hold on.
asked him.
With Natalie Hunter and Anthony.
There are children talking.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Mic right there for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way, and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. And they rose up in the morning early and worshipped before the Lord, and returned, and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. So she gets pregnant. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of the Lord. Samuel means...
Oh, let's see. Where the fuck is... Okay, Samuel sounds like the Hebrew for heard of God, and it's heard as in like audio. You heard something. All right, so let's hope Rob is good. Can you?
I'm here. I'm here. What's up?
Yep, we're good.
All right.
And let's continue then.
Yeah.
And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord establish his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her with 3 bullocks and 1 ephah of flour.
Hold on. You said with 3 bullocks?
Yes.
Huh. That's very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
This is a I'm not sure what this is. We might need multiple translations to figure this out.
What's up?
Okay. So you're talking about verse 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My verse 24 says, And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, along with a 3-year-old bull.
Instead of 3 bullocks.
Yes.
I have a 3-year-old bull as well.
Interesting.
Let's check the...
Is this yet another problem with the KJV? Probably. Because
Yeah.
the KJV is not a good translation.
Not at all.
Maybe they fixed it in the New King James Version.
So, this one also says 3 bullocks, the Holy Scriptures according to the Masoretic
And that's
text.
an old translation.
So they probably took that from the Masoretic then, I'm guessing?
1917.
Yes, obviously. It doesn't matter if it was translated in 1917.
Yeah, we haven't...
The meaning of the words 3 of X and a 3-year-old X have
Is
not
very
changed
different.
since 1917.
Right. Not that
but
close.
We have discovered... I think we've discovered at least, 1 or 2 more manuscripts. Actually, I'm not sure. I know we found stuff from the Old Testament, but I'm not sure if it is...
New
First
King
Samuel
James
is
says 3 bulls.
Does it? Okay. Thanks. All right.
Huh.
Okay, then. So I think it's pretty safe to say it's probably 3 bulls. Or sorry. No. 3-year-old. I think it's probably safe to say it's a 3-year-old.
3-year-old bull.
I don't think there's any consensus on it whatsoever. It seems to be different throughout translations.
Yeah, we had
Well-
5 translations and 2 on one side and 3 on the other.
Yeah, well, either way. Hold on. Rachel says, I have a footnote on the bull thing. Q manuscript, Greek, Syriac, Masoretic text, 3 bulls. Interesting. Okay. All right.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
Masoretic text says 3 bulls.
I have that same footnote.
All right.
Interesting. So I guess it's just is it one of those things that means 2 things? It could be either one.
It's an or.
Just
No,
not
it
sure.
just says that different manuscripts have...
Say- other-
Have 3 bulls. That's what it's saying.
yeah.
But although his also says the same thing, but he has 3-year-old bull.
Mhm.
So then it could be one of those things that could be interpreted either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, moving on.
Yep. Let's move on.
And so 3 bullocks, 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock, and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by thee here, praying unto the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord. And he worshiped the Lord there. So she's basically entered her son to be a monk.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So it's kind of an echo of the Sarah story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again.
Well, actually, the Sarah story would be an echo of this. Yeah.
Oh, even though it's later, it was written first, huh?
Yeah. This was part of the text that was written very early on.
Yeah.
And then stuff in Genesis and Exodus and
Well, I mean, in terms of the narrative.
Well, yeah, in terms of the narrative, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Depends on your perspective.
So
Anyways.
here's
That's
the thing.
end of the first chapter.
Yes, that is the end of 1 Samuel chapter 1. And yes, thank you. You did an amazing job, Ruben. That was
thank you.
absolutely wonderful. I've seen better performances. So before we get into this next chapter, I see 25 viewers. That means I should see 25 likes. That is what I should see. So drop a like, really helps us out.
And 22
and
shares.
Yes, you should share it to your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen, ex-wives, estranged children, homeless people on the street.
People in
Did you
prison.
say
People in
the
prison.
X-Files? I should share with the X-Files?
What?
What?
Nothing to do with the
Yeah.
X-Files. He's
Yeah,
just
if you know
saying
any
stuff.
CIA or FBI.
I thought that's
who
what you
think-
said. You're like, share with X-Files.
No, ex-wives.
Oh, ex-wives.
Yes.
Yes.
But yes, CIA, FBI, NSA, MSNBC, whatever.
Russia.
If you believe...
Yeah. OT says.
Hold
the
on.
pastor.
I have one left. If you believe that you can contact extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional beings, please let their civilizations know we exist. Thank you.
Or
Yeah, that'd be
the
great.
souls of the dead.
Or the souls of the dead. Thank
Okay.
you.
So what we're saying is like, share, and subscribe if you haven't.
Yes.
All right. All that stuff helps us out.
Yep.
And so we killed, or not we, but fucking they killed one bull.
Yep.
And I don't think the other ones pop up. So I think it's pretty safe to say
It was a
a
3-year-old.
3-year-old bull.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no,
weird that they
no.
don't specify.
Because they took
They say they
three.
kill a bull.
They
Why don't
killed
they say they
a
kill
bull.
the
Yeah, I know.
bull?
No,
Yeah.
mine says they killed the bull.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, see, okay.
See,
So-
I think here it's assumed that she brings up the bullocks, and the other people get to keep them at the place of worship.
Maybe, but it doesn't say that. Well, let's find out. Maybe it does. Let's find out. Chapter 2. Yes. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart exults in the Lord. My horn is exalted
Mine
in
also
the Lord.
says mine horn.
My mouth derides my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation."
My notes that horn signifies strength in this instance.
Ah, okay.
Of course it does. It's a phallic image.
Seems kind of obvious.
There is none holy like the Lord, for there is none besides you. There is no rock like our God. So it says none besides you. So,
Oh, what about all that us talk from Genesis?
well, right, the us talk from Genesis. Now this
And the other gods talk from all of the other books.
right. So this could mean I think it could mean a few things.
Yeah.
It could be literally talking about a statue of the Lord, and there is none besides you. Like there are no other ones near you.
Because they wouldn't, if an Asherah tree was near the altar or
That's
whatever
right.
they used, they cut it down. So
Right.
there wouldn't be the other god
Right.
next to it.
No gods
Right.
in front of
and
your
then the other
God.
one is obviously like this is like a beginning of the Yahweh alone movement.
So is this the same as no gods before my God?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
literally?
yeah. It could be similar to that. I'm saying
Okay.
it could be. I'm not 100% on that.
All right.
All right.
See, I'm not entirely sold on your statue interpretation.
I'll let
You should make a video on that.
I will actually. It does sound interesting.
Yeah.
Because it does explicitly say multiple times throughout the text not to make any graven or carved images of anything holy. So why would they have that as a central tenet?
They started out with because they didn't have the 10 Commandments at that point
Right.
when they started making those, and then later they started they had statues, and then it became a totally different thing after the introduction of the 10
It
Commandments.
just seems
But-
like so much of the book is so fundamentally against idolatry of any kind.
Well, don't you think that that's what the rock refers to? There is no rock. The statue that the rock would have been made out of is not. There is no rock that's like our
It
God.
would not have been made out of rock. It would have been made out of like bronze or something.
Well, still, that's
Or,
a metal rock.
Well, Thomas Romer is a good chapter. I'll let you read that book.
All right.
So, anyways, talk no more so very proudly. Let not arrogance come from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge.
Bullshit.
And by him actions are weighed. So he is the judge, and he also knows everything.
I forgot. I am the Lord.
It doesn't say he
I
knows
forgot.
everything. He says he's
The
a
God
God of
of
knowledge.
I mean, okay, fine. Knows everything there is to know, maybe?
Has access to all
All
knowledge
knowledge.
that currently exists. But all knowledge
That is-
does not include all possible knowledge.
Sure, okay.
It also doesn't mean that you have access to every piece of all knowledge at once. It just means that you have access to all knowledge. It could take forever
Well,
to
you-
look over it.
Well, if you're a god,
Well, like, we have all knowledge, basically, on our cell phones now, which makes us functionally gods of knowledge. We just can't look at all of it at once.
well, we can.
Well,
But
it
then
would
we
be
won't
very
understand.
difficult.
Yeah.
You waste your time.
Okay.
You wouldn't remember any of it.
Anyways, so she's praying, but it's really weird that she kind of has like this command, like in the middle of it. The bows of the mighty are broken, but the feeble bind on strength. Those who were full have hired themselves out for bread, but those who are hungry have ceased to hunger. The barren has borne 7, but she who has many children is forlorn. Okay, that was weird.
I like how they
Okay, so a barren woman
define.
had 7 kids.
I like how they
apparently.
strictly define women in terms of whether they're barren or not.
Right.
Like, that's their function in this society.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of pretty much their function in like Greek society too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. The Lord kills and brings to life. He brings down to Sheol and raises up.
What? Wait. Mine says he brings down to the grave.
That's what mine says.
To the grave.
Yeah, if he brings down to the
Well,
grave.
because Sheol wasn't. It's not supposed to be like hell necessarily. It's supposed to be like an.
It's just a Hebrew word.
Right.
Sheol is just a.
I would
I have a footnote.
figure that the Jewish one here.
The Hebrew word for grave is Sheol.
Hebrew word for the grave is
This one
Sheol.
also says grave.
Yeah.
Grave.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to check this while I read through?
No, we've checked
Okay.
the difference between Sheol before.
Okay.
I know, I
but-
remember that.
Okay. Anyways, brings down to Sheol and raises up. So it sounds like he can bring people back to life right after killing them.
But necromancy's illegal.
Wait. So if he can bring people back to life,
What's the
from
point?
the grave,
What's the point?
that must have been established in some way, or she wouldn't have thought to say anything about it. So does that mean they have traditions of heroes who have been raised from the dead before? And if so, then who cares about Jesus, right?
Yeah, what a noob.
What a noob, yeah. But
I don't know if mine. I could read mine like it just means this: the Lord brings death, and He also brings birth. It doesn't necessarily say that He brings dead things back to life. It says He brings death and He makes alive.
Oh,
He brings things down to the grave,
You would
and He
think
raises.
You would think if it says and brings to life, he could probably do that.
Well, mine says he brings down to the grave and bringeth up.
Yeah.
But
that's
That's a little ambiguous
Yeah.
to me. I don't think that necessarily means they're talking about raising things from the dead. They're
I'm
talking
sure he
about.
could fucking do it though.
You know, you mean Rob means like animating things, giving things life.
No,
Well, he's just responsible for birth and death.
Yeah,
He brings your
that's
babies
all.
from nothing.
Yeah.
I don't
You know,
know. Raising up, right after you're talking about bringing down to
Yeah.
Sheol, sounds like
Yeah, it-
I think
resurrection.
it could be argued both ways again. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's heavily implied.
Or raising up your soul,
Otherwise-
only raising up your soul to heaven, and then the body remains in
Well,
the grave. And it's-
because they've referenced birth and life-giving in a number of different ways.
This is the weirdest one.
And this one
Well-
really just seems to imply, like, in the sentence, in terms of sentential logic, mine has, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. So that's, like, the premise, right? He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. But in order to be brought up, there has to be a subject of the verb, right? So bringing up, the only word available in that sentence is grave. So
Yeah. Through inference,
So-
it's poorly worded if it means what Rob says, and I think, as
It's-
usual, it tries to mean what Rob says,
So-
but it comes off as
So
necromancy.
I kind of want to
It-
move past this because
Yeah.
this just sounds like.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Lawrence. In your version, is this separated and written as a poem?
Oh yeah. This is
Yeah.
written
So
as.
this is apart from most of the text here. This is really written as poetry.
oh,
You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
to me,
That-
if
I mean,
you
it's
just
a prayer.
translate it,
So,
a lot of the stanzas in here are obviously metaphors, but they can be taken in a lot of different ways, like a lot of art, I think.
yeah, mine doesn't demark any kind of poetic.
It doesn't. Okay, this is broken down into like stanzas that are separated.
Yeah. Well, he has the
From the-
worst translation.
so hold on. I want to kind of clear something up in the chat. There's an argument going on around Nicaea. I made a video on the Council of Nicaea, so you guys could go watch that after this, if you want to have it all cleared up. I address all this stuff. Anyways, let's fucking move on
All right.
with this fucking prayer.
Okay.
The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He brings low and he exalts. He raises up the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the ash heap to
Mine
make.
says dunghill.
I like dunghill more.
Dunghill's way better.
Yeah. He lifts the needy from the dunghill
The media.
to make
the
them
needy.
sit with princes and inherit a seat of honor. For the
Why?
pillars of the earth are
You know,
the
the princes
Lord's,
hate that.
and on them he has set the world. He will guard the feet of his faithful ones, but the wicked shall be cut off in darkness. For not by might shall a man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Brother, against them he will thunder in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Of course he will thunder in heaven, because
Restore.
Yahweh was, as we have learned at this point, was originally a storm god.
A war storm
A,
god.
a war storm god, yeah.
So these pillars of the world, those are like at the corners of the flat earth, right?
Maybe that was the way it was interpreted, yeah.
No, Reuben.
holding
they're,
them up.
Reuben, they're Arceus's 12 plates.
Okay. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth. He will give strength to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed.
Another horn?
Yeah. Interesting.
An exalted horn.
Yeah, an exalted horn.
I like it when people exalt my horn.
Me too.
Right? It's always good.
I love it when my horn gets raised up.
I love it when my horn gets anointed.
That too.
Oh, man.
Steamy. Then Elkanah went home to Ramah, and the boy was ministering to the Lord in the presence of Eli the priest. Now, it has a little footnote next to boy, and it says it can be rendered as boy or young man. So,
Great.
that doesn't really matter that much. Okay.
One avoids full
Now,
pedophilia.
this I kind of love. I love the how this kind of starts here. Yeah, my little what's it fucking called? The
I don't
title
know. Title?
of this section is called Eli's Worthless Sons. Love it. Love it. Now the sons of Eli were worthless men. They did not know the Lord.
Mine says sons of Belial.
Of course.
Mine says wicked.
Of course.
Wicked.
The custom of the priests with the people was that when any man offered a sacrifice, the priest's servant would come while the meat was boiling with a three-pronged fork in his hand, and he would thrust it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the fork brought up, All that the fork brought up, the priest would take for himself. This is what they did at Shiloh to all the Israelites who came there. So
Can
it
I
seems
just say
like
that the term for fork in the KJV is flesh hook.
that's pretty cool.
Oh,
I
brutal.
like that, but I also like how this is actually slightly different from the traditions in Leviticus.
No.
So while the priests do still get a portion, it's not however much they get with a fork. It was like they get like a certain type of meat from the thing.
Yeah,
right?
they also get a certain
Right.
portion, guaranteed.
Well,
Mine
obviously,
reads
Leviticus
mine
was
reads like
written
he
after.
sticks the
Yeah.
fork in, and whatever comes out, that's what the priest eats.
Yeah,
There
that's
mu-
according to this, but I'm just saying it was different in Leviticus.
Yeah, the list you list
We're
in
gonna say
Leviticus.
that probably one of the Aaronid descendants was like, I want more food, and so decided to write all that stuff in Leviticus.
Yeah, dude, the taxing of the food there with the prayers is ridiculous.
It
in
really was
Leviticus.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was outright theft.
It's like, holy cow, can you get more free food?
Moreover, before the fat was burned, the priest's servant would come and say to the man who was sacrificing, "Give meat for the priest to roast, for he will not accept boiled meat from you, but only raw." And if the man said to him, "Let them burn the fat first, and then take as much as you wish," he would say, "No! You must give it now, and if not, I will take it by force." Thus, the sin of the young men was very great in the sight of the Lord, for the men treated the offering of the Lord with contempt. So, apparently, God liked his meat cooked a certain way.
Yeah, I liked it well done.
Yeah.
Burnt
It's
to
with the
a
boiled
crisp.
meat.
He didn't want it boiled. He wanted it fucking charred. Where the fuck was I? Samuel was ministering before the Lord, a boy clothed with a linen ephod, and his mother used to make for him a little robe and take it to him each year when she went up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. Then Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife and say, "May the Lord give you children by this woman for the petition she asked of the Lord." So then they would return to their home. So apparently after she gives birth to one child, she gets another blessing to have more children.
Right.
Okay.
As you do.
As you do.
Please
Because
enjoy.
when you're barren, God will give you as many children as you want.
Unless you're Rachel.
Yeah. So, where was I? Bless Elkanah, yeah. So then they would return to their home. Indeed, the Lord visited Hannah, and she conceived and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters, and the boy Samuel grew in the presence of the Lord. So, 5 more children.
Hooray!
So, a total of 6 so far.
Yeah.
Total of 6 children.
From barren to 6 kids.
Yes. And had them all seemingly in one verse.
How old is Hannah supposed to be?
I don't know.
We don't know here.
Is the implication that she just hadn't bled yet?
I don't know.
Dude, oof.
Okay.
It could be because their adulthood would start much earlier.
It would, yeah.
And, some people don't start, some women don't bleed until well into their teens.
Right.
So it could just be that.
The word is
about-
menstruate, my son.
What's that?
Like the word is menstruate. He's like, women don't bleed. It
Okay. Anyways,
could mean that she's old too. No, it could mean that she's past menopause and she's barren.
I mean, she might be. We have no idea. It doesn't really say.
Yeah, the age isn't specified at all.
Now, Eli was very old, and he kept hearing that his sons were. Wait, hold on. And he kept hearing all that his sons were doing to all Israel, and how they lay with the women who were serving at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So they were sleeping with, I guess, priestesses? They're
Yeah,
not
ushers.
priestesses exactly,
Ushers.
but I don't know, the women outside the tent of the meeting. The women
Holy
outside.
woman.
Yeah, holy women. And he said to them, "Why do you do such things? For I hear of your evil dealings from all these people. No, my sons, it is no good report that I hear the people of the Lord spreading abroad. If someone sins against a man, God will mediate for him. But if someone sins against the Lord, who can intercede for him?" But
Double God.
I'm pretty sure God
Jesus
could.
can.
I'm pretty sure God could handle himself. But they would not listen to the voice of their father, for it was the will of the Lord to put them to death. What?
Yep.
Okay, so
God wanted them to die, so he didn't let them comply.
apparently. Now the boy Samuel continued to grow, both in stature and in favor with the Lord, and also with man. And there came a man of God to Eli, and said to him, Thus says the Lord, Did I indeed reveal myself to the house of your father when they were in Egypt, subject to the house of Pharaoh? Did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to go up to my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? I gave to the house of your father all my offerings by fire from the people of Israel. Why then do you scorn my sacrifices and my offerings that I commanded for my dwelling, and honor your sons above me by flattering yourselves on the choicest parts of everything offering of every offering of my people Israel?
By fattening, right? Not flattering.
Oh yeah, sorry, I have fattening. Whoops. So this was apparently from God. Now, who was this man of the Lord? Who was this man of God that went up to Eli? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
Perhaps it's another angel.
Nah.
Probably not. Let's find out.
Or just some homeless guy who is like, God says do this, and they believe everything that everyone says about God.
Right.
Dude, he must have.
apparently, So
Therefore, the Lord, the God of Israel, declares, I promised that your house and the house of your father should go in and out before me forever. But now the Lord declares, Far be it from me, for those who honor me I will honor, and those who despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold!
behold, first behold
Behold,
today.
holy
First
cow.
That says disdained, not lightly esteemed. Disdained.
Behold, the days are coming when I will cut off your strength and the strength of your father's house, so that there will not be an old man in your house. So what's interesting is that this differs. So God is here changing his mind,
Yes.
which is really interesting, because later, we haven't gotten to it yet, but later it does say that God is unchanging. And I'm pretty sure that changing
Your mind.
your mind is a change of some sort, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the thing is, God has changed his mind before. With, I think Abraham changes his mind. Moses changes his mind.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Well, could I convince you of otherwise, or are you unchanging?
I'm changeable.
But most famously with Abraham.
Yeah. Very good negotiation skills.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's kind of doing this whole, sins of your father thing. He's like, they didn't matter before, even though they kind of mattered before. But now, they matter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The stakes are raised.
Then in distress you will look with envious eye on all the prosperity that shall be bestowed on Israel, and there shall not be an old man in your house forever. The only one of you whom I shall cut off from my altar shall be spared to weep his eyes out, to grieve his heart, and all the descendants of your house shall die by the sword of men. And this that shall come
Wow,
up-
mine says something totally different.
What is
Yeah,
it?
mine's pretty different than that too.
And all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age.
And mine says all your descendants will die in the prime of their life.
Wow. That is incredibly different.
And mean.
Yeah.
Really ugly.
So mine is very brutal. In the end of you, oh my God, and all the descendants of your house shall die by the sword of men. That is very different.
Very different.
And this that shall come upon your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, shall be the sign to you. Both of them shall die on the same day, and I will raise up for myself a faithful priest, who shall do according to what is in my heart and in my mind, and I will build him a sure house, and he shall go in and out before my anointed forever. And everyone who is left in your house shall come to implore him for a piece of silver or a loaf of bread, and shall say, please put me in one of the priest's places, that I may eat a morsel of bread. So God is saying he will create a very subservient community.
Are we gonna get to the part where parents eat their children yet?
Probably not.
Oh.
Good stuff.
But obviously, this is kind of a this is God's kind of way to mediate people finally not listening to him. But this is obviously part of this is still the judge's narrative going on.
Yes.
Because it's like these people are evil, and I will raise someone up above them.
Yeah.
And not only that, but this is to a much greater extent.
Is this thing still going?
What?
The chapter?
Well, the chapter's over.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a pretty long one.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we are, for our 666 goal.
Yes, I thought it would be a good time to mention that we are running a donation drive right now. If you donate $6.66 donations.
Yeah, but we are adding it all together.
We're adding it all up. As those come in, if we reach a certain goal, we're going to review the old
at $666.
And 66 cents?
No, it wouldn't be, because it's 100
No.
donations. But either way,
Well, and either way, once we reach that goal, we'll be going through some old black magic books and trying to summon Satan.
We
Yeah.
tried to get the gold bar, but
Yeah.
it's not for YouTube.
yeah, it kind of sucks that the thing doesn't work with super chats, the donation.
Thank
bar.
you, DB Cisco.
Thank you, DB Cisco.
Hellbow.
Maybe that'll show up.
No, it'll show up, but it won't. The donation bar on Streamlabs
Right,
doesn't
yeah, it just
accept
wouldn't
super
work.
chats.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Bummer.
obviously that's what atheists are supposed
There
to
it
do,
Yeah.
you know, consort with demons and all that. So we'll do it.
Yep,
And
it's the
if it
stereotype.
works, you'll see.
We'll bet it. We bet
Yeah.
9.
It won't work.
It
Bet
won't work.
9 of those $666 that it won't work.
I suggest starting with a lower demon and then working up to Satan, though.
I mean, we could get like a Paimon or something.
Get an
Yeah,
imp.
like- ooh.
This Belial fellow we've been reading about today. Yeah, try him.
Yeah.
Well, we could try a
Well,
bunch of summonings.
Belial's worthless. I wouldn't even go to him.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He might be easy to get. You know, he might work cheap.
So if you like what you're seeing,
Yeah,
don't forget
definitely,
to
Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Really helps us out. Definitely drop a like if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the stream.
And if you have, good.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you for enjoying.
Anyways.
All right. So, last chapter here, chapter 3, and this one, we will leave it off to Rob.
This chapter in my book is called "The Lord Calls Samuel." The boy Samuel ministered before the Lord under Eli. In those days, the word of the Lord was rare. There were not many visions. Well, that as opposed to other times when there's all kinds of visions of the Lord.
Oh no, it gives a really good apologetics excuse for why God doesn't show up anymore.
Right, yeah.
Does.
It's established that there are periods of time where people don't see God.
Yeah, because God is just kind of over the whole human
It's
thing.
a- Visions ebb and flow over the eons.
Yeah.
One night, Eli, whose eyes were becoming so weak that he could barely see, remember he's old, was lying down in his usual place. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was. Then the Lord called Samuel. Samuel answered, "Here I am." And he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." But Eli said, "I did not call you. Go back and lie down." So he went and lay down. Again the Lord called Samuel. Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." "My son," Eli said, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." Now Samuel did not know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him.
Ooh. So this
It's kind of
he has no idea what's going on. He hears
He's hearing a voice.
Yeah.
No,
in
this
bed.
is interesting because it implies that like the childhood education didn't include like the mythology, unlike modern times where children in Christian, Jewish,
Go to Sunday
etc.,
school.
Go to
It's-
Sunday school.
It kind of seems like Samuel was raised in the tradition,
Yeah.
but hadn't experienced anything. So he's just kind of going through the motions. It was really the only way he knew how to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the only thing.
Previously, it
that
said that the boy Samuel was being raised in the Lord.
Yeah.
And you read, I don't so to me that contradicts. I don't get how he doesn't. The Lord hasn't been revealed to him, but his mother raised him to be lordly. I mean,
He doesn't
It's
know.
like, it's like a tradition thing.
He doesn't know the voice in his head yet. He's not familiar with it.
he's not like you.
They're just me in my head, Rob. It's all just me up here.
All,
Yeah,
Yes,
all
you're-
those other personalities.
That's still me.
all,
Therefore, the familiarity.
all equally terrible versions.
Yes,
All right.
please enjoy.
The people think we're joking, but
We're not.
The Lord called Samuel a third time. You notice how 3 is kind of everything goes down in the third time here.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, lots of stuff happens 3 times.
The
Three is
Bible.
just-
I mean, there's 3 is just here's another 3 in the Bible.
Yeah.
The third
Yeah.
time,
I mean,
it's like a
that's not
comedy
even-
bit. Ba-dum.
That's
The
not
third
even that.
time.
That's not even that crazy because 3 is a pretty small number, but it establishes a pattern.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's evocative in the human mind.
I mean-
Dickens did it with the 3 ghosts. It's 1, 2, 3. It's
right. It's not
It
like
repeats.
on the 73rd time.
right. So anyway, on the third time, Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me." Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, "Go and lie down, and if he calls you, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" So Samuel went and lay down in his place. The Lord came and stood there, calling as at the other time, "Samuel, Samuel." Then Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." And the Lord said to Samuel, "See, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of
sorry,
everyone
Rob,
who
hold-
hears it tingle."
hold on, Rob. Mine says, "Behold."
Behold.
Behold.
You can go on. Yeah, but
Oh, what part does he
Where?
say the Lord stood there?
10, 3,
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord normally doesn't stand anywhere.
No, nowhere. We
Yeah.
remember like in the garden, his spirit was there, right?
Yeah, he walked around.
And the only time that he showed up otherwise
Physically.
was for Moses. But this
Yeah.
says, mine even
They
says,
came and stood there.
Yeah.
the
This is
Lord
the
came
third
and
time.
stood.
It's rare.
Yeah.
So for all those people who say that Moses is the only one who God ever appears in front of,
This seems like he's appearing there if he stood there.
yeah, it said the Lord came and stood.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
be much more straightforward.
He
than
came
that.
to this guy's bedroom.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Yep.
This guy
Right.
didn't even have to go up a mountain.
Yeah, he didn't even have to do that.
Wow.
But Moses needed to do that for Revelation.
Yeah, this guy was just like laying in bed and his sleep paralysis kicked in, and instead of hallucinating a night hag, he hallucinated God.
Wow.
I comes to his bedroom, man. It's a little PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, "What's up?" All right. Then and the Lord said to Samuel, "See, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears it tingle. At that time, I will carry out against Eli everything I spoke against his family, from beginning to end. For I told him that I would judge his family forever, because of the sin he knew about. His sons made themselves contemptible, and he failed to restrain them. Therefore, I swore to the house of Eli, the guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for by sacrifice or offering."
So here's something neat. This
That's
time,
pissed at Eli.
so Eli did say to his sons, "Why are you doing this?" and stuff like that. So he tried to stop it, but God is now punishing Eli because Eli couldn't, get his sons in order. So this is like where the father, is responsible for the sins of his sons.
Not really. It's written like that, like Eli's the one. But think about it, Eli's about to be dead, and who God really is punishing is all the descendants after. So it really is the sons of the sons that he's talking about that are never going to have. Eli's almost dead anyway.
No, but I'm saying that he is.
I get it. He's blaming the father for the sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in effect, it's going to be the descendants of the
Well,
sons
yeah,
that are
and-
affected by it all, who are never going to live past the flower of their prime or whatever the
Or get killed by the sword, as mine says.
Yeah.
Die by the sword of men. That's a pretty big discrepancy.
It's an interesting difference. I wonder how that translation ended up being different. It's nothing like the other one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. Samuel lay down until morning and then opened the doors of the house of the Lord. He was afraid to tell Eli the vision. But Eli called him and said, Samuel, my son. Samuel answered, Here I am. What was it he said to you? Eli asked. Do not hide it from me. May God deal with you, be it ever so severely, if you hide from me anything he told you. Now Eli is threatening Samuel with the Lord. May he fuck you up if you lie to me. So Samuel told him everything, hiding nothing from him. Then Eli said, He is the Lord. Let him do what is good in his eyes. The Lord was with Samuel as he grew up, and he let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, recognized that Samuel was attested as a prophet of the Lord. The Lord continued to appear at Shiloh, and there he revealed himself to Samuel through his word.
So Shiloh was a pretty big, like, a religious center.
Religious center where Samuel did his business after that.
Yeah.
Continued to get visions from the Lord.
Yeah, and this was kind of,
and there's one more line. And Samuel's word came to all Israel.
So
that's the last.
Yeah, that kind of gets included.
Yeah, it's
sometimes.
included in chapter 4 in mine.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Really? No.
It happens, yeah.
But I like how it points out, Eli says, it is the Lord, let him do what seems
good in his eyes.
Good in his eyes.
Yeah.
Which implies that there is a difference between what is good and what God considers to be good.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a weird.
Or between what man considers good and what God considers good, yeah.
Yeah, either way. All right, so that was all the chapters, 1 through 3, and then next week we'll be getting into the Ark of the Covenant.
Ooh.
It makes its grand return. Its grandiose return.
The Ark of the Covenant's been through a lot.
It has.
It's been through battle and travel.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something else running.
And I think we're about to lose it pretty soon here.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the Ark of the Covenant's still around today, hidden in the catacombs underneath Jerusalem.
Yep, but we can't check there. So.
It'll still melt your face if you open it, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that was it felt a lot longer than it actually was.
It was still an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is all the chapters for this week. Remember to like, share, subscribe, because those likes really do help us out.
And right after we get done with 1 Samuel, we go into 2 Samuel, which really makes you wonder why they even bothered separating 1 and 2 Samuel.
Oh, who knows? Arbitrary.
I don't actually know why. I can look that up.
And maybe Rob wants to talk.
Yes, I understand. Chris, that fucking piece of shit back there.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Rob, definitely go ahead, shell out your stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing for the community?
Oh, hey, man. I'm raising 2 young atheists, and I'm trying to save a company from extinction, and doing my own podcast now. As you know, we're on the 10th episode finally, and it's coming out in a day or so. And it's called The Atheist Underground. You can find us on YouTube. We do a compendium YouTube series that goes with the podcast. The podcast, of course, available for your pleasure on iTunes. And we're on Patreon. I just got a new patron yesterday. Thank you so much for that. And that's what I'm about, really. It's an interesting podcast because we kind of edit bits together. It's not just talking heads. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we try to do it a little bit different, where we kind of like a variety show and make them half an hour, 40 minutes of different little pieces. And some of them are informational, some of them are educational, some of them are rants and protests, and some of them are funny. So we try to be funny. So it's a little bit different than most of the shit you'll find out there, but check us out. And it's also Freedom from Religion Foundation, Southeast Wisconsin, and the Kenosha Racine Atheists and Free Thinkers. Those are our community organizations here in Southeast Wisconsin, where we continue to fight the good fight against the incursions of religion in government, which are ridiculous around here. The school district is a real mess. We have Bible verses on the wall and a real conspiracy to send kids to a fundamentalist camp where they are taught that Genesis is truth, and there's a 7-room display
Sounds like something that would happen in
to
Texas.
illustrate this. So we're going to lose the country. We all need everybody. You guys are awesome. Congratulations on all your success, and keep it up. We need every fucker. We need every youngster over 18 to vote. Anybody who can, get out there and fix what's wrong. We need secular governance in this country. We need people like us to run for our office instead of just talking shit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, thank you, Rob. So much
thanks for having me on, guys.
And for everyone out there,
Go
Facebook.
check out his podcast
Yes, that-
and
obviously.
like and subscribe to it
Yes.
in
Like
all of
and
its
subscribe.
forms.
Maybe we'll come on sometime. Who knows?
Anyways.
Atheist Underground.
Yeah. And I think I did, I don't know if it was for the podcast, but I did like a little segment. I don't know if that's for the podcast.
Yeah. And Lawrence will be featured on the one coming up here. I'm actually with the last piece I have to edit, where we look at Doubting Thomas. This is Doubtington. The train rides around a secular area and stops at different towns that are named after segments of the atheist movement. So we kind of pretend we're on a subway train and we make stops at different places. And this is Doubtington. So it's all about doubt. Can't have a Doubtington segment without some Doubting Thomas talk from the Bible. So we hit Lawrence up for that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyways, Facebook, Twitter, you guys can follow us on there. We post things. We'd post way more often if we actually got engagement on those platforms. But I try.
MilwaukeeAtheist.com.
Well, yep. Fucking shut up, Chris. I know everything I have to show. MilwaukeeAtheist.com. Patreon. We do have the...
Teespring.
Yes. Fucking... God, I fucking hate you people. So Patreon, we have good rewards, I think, in my opinion. So at least check it out. We do post stuff. You can get behind the scenes looks. You can get all the scripts. You'll get a lot of cool stuff.
Win a raffle.
You can win
for
a raffle.
$10,000 a month, we'll give you a high five.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the continental United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of commitment we got to do.
That includes Alaska, but does not
What
include
happened?
Hawaii.
Does not. So, obviously Teespring, get yourself a cool shirt. If you don't want to contribute every month, at
A
least get yourself
wacky
something
and
neat.
fun shirt.
A wacky and fun shirt. All right. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rob. I think that's the end of the show.
Yep,
right,
that's
see you
it.
next week.
See you next
Kapla.
Sunday, guys.
I see your tweets.